So I'm going to use the one example from the book here, the chapter 4 exercises. And let me add that to my folder. Okay, let me turn this off. I'm using Java Unit 5 Java. Okay, so JavaScript. I want to add this chapter 4. These are the code from the book. You can also download this from the Blackboard, right? Yeah. So here is the chapter 4. The tractor and the toolbar and stuff, right? Open the file, and this is our script. Okay. And as you can see, right, the IDE tells you a lot of errors. You see on the right side here, all these red marks here. These are your errors. And sometimes one line here, if you fix one, will actually remedy the other errors, right? So let's just assume that we didn't have that. We didn't see those, okay? And you run your code. So I'm going to run the tractor file. Again, if you want to get the file, it's from the from here, right? The unit 5 under the, what I put it, is it practice, or I think probably the and the apply. Yeah, so if you download the chapter 4 zip file, you should have a folder called chapter. I renamed it to JS chapter 4, but it should just be chapter, and then plus the other 5 hands-on. So that folder is what the practice exercises in the book. And so here, I'm going to run this, and let me turn this, close that, and here's my file. Let me take that, close these here. All right. I have to use the whole screen so we can see the full data. Okay. Well, something error here, but it's okay. So you've done this in your assignment. It looks similar. If you click on one of these, it should do something, right? As notice, nothing is working yet. And when you try to increase the acres here, it doesn't do anything here. So it's not functioning. When something's not running, again, you always press the F12 key. I showed that many times, so make sure you use that one to help you debug your code. And again, I mentioned earlier in the classes that JavaScript doesn't give you all the errors at one time. It just go one by one, line by line. So you have to fix one error first before you can go to the next line. If you can't fix it, you're going to pretty much stuck there. Okay? It's not as nice as in Java or Visual Basic. It will throw the screen full of error messages, line 1, line 10, line 45 has errors, so you can fix them. But this one, it's not like that. So it just it finds the first error, it stops there, and then it will just terminate. Okay, that's JavaScript. So you have to fix it. So this one tells you here you have a syntax error, unexpected identifier at line 17. Okay, you can, when you're running on the browser here, you can just basically click on this line here, this link. It will take you right into the code under the sources. I'm using Chrome. It may be different for Firefox. But under sources, it will tell you, it will load that JavaScript or whatever the file is, and it will pinpoint exactly what the error is right here. Okay? So let me see if I can use that little pool thing last time. There you go. Right? So it says line 17 and has an error. So unexpected identifier. I was thinking that this is an identifier. This is also an identifier. So one of those is not right. If you look at this, you know that it has to be a var, right? So you're going to fix that. Then I'm going to go to the IDE and fix that. So you go into your IDE and align down here. Oops, in the toolbar. Okay, so line 17, fix that. And once you fix that, you can press save, control save, go back, and then just refresh it again. And now that's fixed, or not. I did not save it. Let's try one more time. Let's see. Okay, let me save what's wrong. Okay. Let's try one more time. That's you. Okay, something is not working here. Did I do something? I fixed the one already. Hold on. It won't let me save, so I wonder why. Let me just restart this again. So once you fix that, it's going to go to the next one, and hopefully it'll resolve that issue. I don't know what happened there. Okay, something is not right. Okay, save that, go back here, refresh. Okay, I fixed that one. So I fixed that one, right? Line, no I did not. I fixed it here. Let's try one more time. And then do the F12. Okay, line 26 now. So I guess we fixed that one for some reason it didn't fix before. So line 26 down here. So what's the error here? Right, so if you look at this, you'll see that you need a equal sign. So you go back to your code and fix line 26 in the toolbar script. You're missing the equal sign. So you fix that, save. If you look at the script, you can fix this error here, right? So you know that's error. So here again, it has a helper here to help you. It's just on a closed string, right? So you can fix that. This has to be closed. So I need to close that. That's what it means. And then you keep going down until you find other errors here in the red number. You click it, that will take you right to it. Mouse over that, it will tell you it's expected a left paren, right? So this is kind of nice. You fix that, and you keep moving down the list. If you just click on anything that's red, yellow is just a warning. So I think we're good here. So let's save this. Maybe we resolve everything already. I don't know. Let's see. Refresh this again. So it looks like we fixed everything, sort of, right? Because not until we start clicking around, and then we might find other errors. So far now it's expecting to work as we expect. So if I were to go click on E85, that shows up as expected. Okay. So here's another part. The error here with the B, I'm not sure what that is. I expected to have the word biodiesel, but it only shows B, right?
You have to fix it.
So we have to fix it, right? So again, this case, what type of error is this? Yeah, it doesn't give any syntax error, right? No runtime error. It works just fine, just the output is not the one we expect. I'm expecting to have an error, a message of biodiesel here instead of just a B, right? So you have to go and find out what that is. And if you go into your code, you see that, what does that line output the data? And if you find somewhere down here, you'll see that when you output the data, like down here, okay, here we have something like plus equal E, plus equal D, but here we'll have B, equal B, right? So we want to include the plus equal B here, I think. And it's easy to spot because I know exactly what the code is. It's coming from, that's what the output is going to be displayed. Okay, so again, it doesn't give you an error. It's just a logic error because you mistakenly forgot to put the plus there. So whatever it was before, the message, and then concatenate that with the B. I don't know, we'll see if that's the problem or not, but let's see. So go back and refresh. And then do it again. So we have the correct output. Okay? So it basically appends to the end of that list here. And up here is working as expected. No, right? So it has an error here as well. These should also work. Okay. And if there are any errors, we'll show here. So in this case, it will be probably a logic error again. It doesn't detect negative numbers, right? So you have to figure those out why it's not happening the way it should be. So you should have something like you cannot enter negative numbers. Okay, so again, that's something that you want to put in there to fix it. Okay, I want to show you something here about the tracing here. Okay, this one here, if you put F12 in here, you can trace your code in here, and if you click on the Sources tab, so Sources tab, if you click it, it might take a little while to load all your files. You should see all the files on the server or on the account or wherever that directory is. The HTML file, that's this one here. The modernizer and the tuba.js is here. Okay, you can track you can step through your code here and in JavaScript. Okay, so I can say I want to trace this code here. I want to stop the execution at line 14. You click on that line number here. It'll put this little marker here, and then we put a marker there so that when we run this code, it will stop execution at line 14, and we can then trace each of this line from here on, line by line. Okay, so if I do that, let's go back. I'm gonna move a little bit higher. You can see it. Let's say I'll stop there, and if I go ahead and then click refresh again, okay, you see that my execution stops at exactly line 14 with that line there. So from this point on, you see that these buttons here are activated. Okay, this is my step in, step over, step into, and so on. Without this, it's not gonna. This will be turned off. Watch again. If I reload, you see that they are not activated. Right? It runs the code really fast, and then it ends. So when you want to track your code, you want to trace line by line, put the marker there, and then click reload, and then from here on, you can step through your code. Okay, so the first one here, it just says a step over, next function call. This one here says step into function call, step out of the current function. Okay, This means that if you have a function, let's just say somewhere down here, when you, so for example, when you call this function called verify acres, right? Where is this function being called? Somewhere down here. Well, we'll trace it. It just means that do I go into the function and run the script in there manually, or just skip it and it will just run automatically and then skip it, so you don't go through the function. So if you click on the step over and just go one by one, you'll see they go line by line, jump to the next line. So after the line is executed, line 14 executed, whatever this variable is will have that value of 14. As you can see, it tells you that line 14, the acres variable, is now true. Right now I'm pointing at the crops complete. If I go to the next, okay, the reason why it shows here because I put the marker here. If you want to see what crops is, you can watch those by clicking on the watch up here. You click on the watch, expand that, and in here you can add, click the add expression, and then just type the word, the variable name, crops complete, and hit enter. It will tell you the current state of that variable as you move down the list. So I could add another one for, let's just say the fuel complete. I have to match my variable names. You see that it says undefined because we're not there yet, right? So the line hasn't executed yet, so therefore it's not defined until I step over that line. Okay, it's still undefined. It won't be until after I run that code yet. So you see that now it's been set to true. Okay, and it moves down the list. Because these are all just statements. It's going to move down the list here. If you want to make sure that the message head element has something, you can also add that here just to make sure you see it. So again, I can say message head element. You see that it's undefined yet. It's not assigned anything yet. Click the next step over. You see that now it has the variable or the value of the h2 with the ID of message head. So it has that h2 tag. Okay, and you keep going that until you find what you want. So you keep going all the way down line by line until you get to a function call. I'll show you. Okay, right down here. Get in there. So we're gonna verify that that's true, and then now it's gonna call this function called create event listener. Okay, so if I keep going, as you can see, it skipped that create event listener. It's supposed to go into the create event listener, and then it follows the code up here, right? Up here. It didn't go because I just say step over the next function call. So it runs everything already there and really fast and exits out. Okay? So if you're going to go into the function, then you need to use this thing here called the step into the function. So if I were to refresh this again, I'll do really fast. And then we'll take a break. Did I do something wrong? Okay, so I'm going to go all the way down to line down here. Okay, so right now I'm going to go into the function. If I click step into this, it's going to trace the function call, and it's going to go into the function. Well, it didn't in this case. It's weird. Did I miss that? Okay, so there it goes. For some reason. So this might work too, I guess. But it will go into the function call here again, so you could run through here again. It show you here I didn't go into the function, so it skipped the verify access. Otherwise, it would have go into the verify access and then run the function, and it will come back. Okay, so you can do this. You can put multiple tags if you want. Okay. So the browser has this built into it. Chrome has it, Firefox has it, IE has it, I think Opera has it too, so I'm pretty sure they have it. It will look very similar to this. You see this in Visual Basic as well. Okay, we'll take a break and we'll come back, and then I'll show you how this is done inside WebStorm. You can use that as well if you want to debug in WebStorm. So I'll see you back in 10.